Record. Hey, Miss Tasha,
Um,
thank you so much for joining me today and being willing to share a little bit about Nasor and his journey with me as a student. I've
yeah,
really enjoyed working with him so far, and I'm just relaxed. It's just a quick, like 10, 15 minutes of questions and just answer honestly. And that's all I'm asking, right? So just kind of
yeah.
say a little bit about Nasor and his experiences while working with me. My first question that I have to ask you is, could you tell me a little bit about Nasor before he started working with me? What were some of the challenges that he was facing in school or with learning?
Yeah, definitely. So prior to starting, tutoring with you, Nasor just really did not like math at all. Um, he struggled with basic concepts, and he's in seventh grade. And so, of course, as you continue in your journey with school, everything builds upon the basic foundational, concepts. And he really struggled with those. So he was just really lacking confidence and felt frustrated. I would often ask him, when he came home from school, like, how did you feel in math class today? And he was like, I was frustrated. Or he would be bored because he didn't understand what was going on. So he really did not have a good taste for math at all.
And that's normal for a lot of kids, right? Like
Yeah.
a lot of kids feel that way, and a lot of adults feel that way too. And it's kind of one of the, I guess, sad realities is almost any person that you ask anywhere, like, hey, how are you feeling about math? They'll say, oh, no, I can never do math. And it's like, oh, but you can though. Like, you just don't know
Right.
you can, right? So like that's one of the sad realities as a teacher that I see as a math educator. It's like, oh, these kids, they're capable of so much more than they think they are, for sure. So, how would
Yeah.
you describe the difference that you've noticed in his confidence or skills since working with me?
Since working with you, he so the first thing that comes top of mind is my daughter, my adult daughter. She said that she noticed that he seems a lot more confident and less anxious when it comes, to doing just homework in general, not just math. That was something that she pointed out to me like instantly. And I was like, now that she says that, yeah, I can see that he doesn't appear to be so on edge when it comes to doing homework.
Okay, that's
Another
great to hear.
huge, yeah, definitely. Another huge thing that I've noticed is that prior to tutoring, and even like in the very beginning, he was missing a lot of assignments. I
Mhm.
would log into Infinite Campus and be like, oh my gosh, like, why are you missing so many assignments? And he was just struggling to um, most of the missing assignments were in math, but there were other subjects as well. And so he just kind of, that lack of confidence in math kind of bled over into other subjects. The first hint of a struggle, he just began to shut down. It was really difficult to get him to focus and, like, just kind of push through it.
Give it the try,
But
right? Like that's
yeah,
normal for so many kids with ADHD. Like that
yeah,
executive function barrier. If this isn't easy for me right away,
yeah,
like no. That's
that,
so
and that was
normal
him.
for kids like us. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have noticed now that I logged into Infinite Campus the other day. There were no missing assignments. To me, I was like, oh my gosh, is this the same kid? Did they mix up the kids in the portal? Because I had just gotten so used to seeing missing assignments. For me, it just felt like this is my kid. He's just going to be the kid who's missing assignments here and there. And, to find the work or to get him to complete it was going to always be a struggle. So when I saw that his work had been turned in, it was just it was such an undescribable experience. I mean, I just really can't even tell you how I felt inside. And I do think that it was strictly in part due to those the focus pods. Because if you are sitting there with someone who's not your parent and they're encouraging you to do work and ask questions if you need that, sometimes I do think that it takes someone outside of the parents to kind of really enforce that accountability. But yeah, that was been like the next huge thing I noticed. Just the work is getting done and he appears more confident.
Yeah, that's so gratifying too. Like I can imagine almost like a relief, like, oh, I don't have to push my kid to do this today, right?
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. I can definitely feel that. For sure. So, what are any other, if you can think of any, memorable milestones or achievements for him during his last few months with me?
Um, so yeah, like, and I don't know which day it was, but he had been tutoring for, I'm gonna say at least about 6 weeks at this point. And he would always want to, join Zoom either at the kitchen table or at my work desk. And
Mhm.
so sometimes I would kind of, like secretly enter the room and kind of listen in.
Really?
And then I don't know what the actual fact was, but when he answered practically immediately, I was like, my gosh, wow. Okay, he's getting it, it's sinking in because all before, even simple addition facts, it would take him a moment to calculate that.
Mhm.
And or sometimes he would need a manipulative, whether he's making the tally marks or he had blocks or
Mhm.
erasers, whatever. He would always need a manipulative or have to write it down. But whenever you asked him that question and he got it, like I was like, okay, like it
Yeah.
like it's clicking for him, you know?
There's more that they can do, right? Like this automaticity of math facts is something that I really stress with the kids because I know how effective it is for their later math learning, right?
Mhm.
No, having
Mhm.
that stuff come to them automatically makes everything else easier. And so I really push it hard for them when they first start with me. So yeah, Nasor has been working hard on it and I'm proud of how far he's come for sure. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hearing that like automatic click, it's like, oh, ah, like exciting. Yeah,
Right.
no, I'm with you. Um, so what have you found most helpful or valuable about my work with Nasor?
Um, what have I found most helpful, most valuable? Well, first, I think that, having the multiple sessions that they can join every week, I think that's super helpful. Because one of my issues with other tutoring places, you know, oh, you meet once a week. And I'm like, I know for me as an adult, if I'm trying to learn a new skill, I need to meet more than just once a week. So meeting multiple times a week definitely has helped to like, okay, I'm going to introduce this, then we're going to reinforce the next session, and then the next session we're going to, drill it down some more. I think that's been very helpful because the consistency is there. And if you aren't practicing anything consistently, how can you expect it to really stick? So that is one thing that I have found helpful. And then also just kind of listening in to the sessions at times. Just your style of teaching, I do think is super helpful. With him being in seventh grade, he's just used to teachers kind of going in front of the class and presenting material. Um, not really providing that individual attention that some students may need. So I think just your style of teaching and how you can relate to the students and even whenever it comes to, like certain video games or just certain things in pop culture that, students that age are kind of into, you can really relate to them. So even though you're an authority figure, you're the teacher, you still feel relatable. And I think that helps a lot whenever your child's comfortable with, their teacher.
That's very important. And it's one of my favorite things that I get to do as a small group tutor, right? That I get to relate to the kids on a more personal level. Like whenever I
Hmm.
was teaching in the classroom at the middle and high school level, nobody had time to
Yeah.
talk to anybody and like really get to know them. So
Yeah.
it's kind of really nice to hear you say that because like, yeah, I've enjoyed getting to know Nasor. He's such an interesting and quirky kid. Like he's
Yeah.
talking to me about creepy pastas and stuff. And I'm like, look, I know this lingo and I can figure out how to talk to him about it. Like it's
Yeah.
there. I've been around the kids enough to know a little bit about their culture, but it's like
Yeah.
so interesting to like let them have the space to say these things to somebody who wouldn't usually connect with them on stuff like that. So that's so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. So how does my approach to working with Nasor help you as a parent feel more supported or hopeful about his learning, in your opinion?
Um, I feel like just, from our very first conversation, I felt completely comfortable and confident in your ability to not only just teach math, but to help close the gap from where he is to where he needs to be. Um, yeah, I just kind of lost my train of thought here. But
So, sorry, the question was, how does my approach to working with a snore help you feel confident? Or how does it help you as a parent feel supported in his learning, I guess?
um, because like I said, just based on our first conversation and then just kind of hearing and listening into the sessions every now and then, just being confident in your ability to help him grow has really eased my anxiety as a parent about worrying about his educational future because math is a huge, thorn in his side. I don't want it to be that way because I'm like, math is everywhere.
Hmm.
When you get your first job, you want to make sure your paycheck's correct. If you struggle to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, you may not know, how to make sure you're getting what you're supposed to get.
Yeah.
So for me and my family, it has just really helped kind of dissolve our anxiety around if he's going to make it or not. Because at a
Mm,
certain point, when your child fails a subject, they can potentially fail their grade as well, or they may have to go to summer school. And
mm,
I have been worried about that for a lot, especially during his time in middle school. Like, is he gonna catch up? Is it gonna click? Is he gonna get it? Is he gonna continue to struggle? Just having so many worries about his future, but just based on his time with you, it has helped ease that anxiety. So I'm not worried about it. So I'm a little more present and can be, a little more available,
yeah.
emotionally for him and the rest of my family. Because when you're worried about something so big, it can really almost consume you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So the mom guilt is so real. Oh, yeah. And we don't deserve the mom guilt. We really don't. Yeah, it's not really
Yeah.
our job. It's the teacher's job, right? To get him to know math. But at the same time, we still feel that pressure. So I
Yeah.
empathize with that so hard because like I know for my own kiddo, like there's only so much that her teachers can do. And like there's
Right.
I have to make it happen for her one way or another. It's our and it sits on us, right? And so
Yeah.
knowing that this particular matter is taken care of, like I love how you express like that allows you to be more present in other areas, which is wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you. So, if another parent was on the fence about getting help from me or my company, which is now growing to include more than just me, what crazy, um, what would you tell them about getting help with Luff Learning, which is the name of the company, right? I guess.
I would, for any parent that is considering and may be on the fence, just do it. Go ahead and pull the trigger. It is definitely a worthwhile investment, not just, for your child, but for your entire family as well. Because whenever your child's confidence in math grows, that confidence spills over into other areas. When they're
Mhm.
being held accountable for doing their homework, they start to really, take notice and be more accountable in other ways. I don't really have to pester him to clean his room anymore. He's just kind of is really growing and maturing, throughout this 12-week process. And so for anyone that's on the fence, I would say go ahead and pull the trigger. If you can set aside money for your Starbucks or your Dunkin' or, a night out, if you have to sacrifice that, invest it back into your child, you will not regret it. It is absolutely amazing to have someone that can really meet your child where they are
Mm,
and take that and really and really just help them, improve. And it's not like regular math class. If
mm,
your child is still struggling on a concept, okay, they'll stay with that concept. They aren't just going to get left behind. So
exactly.
if you are on the fence, go ahead, pull the trigger. Miss Sarah's worth her weight in gold. You won't regret it.
Thank
I've
you
even
so
asked
much.
her about like summertime tutoring because, hey, summertime will be here before you know it. And
Mm,
I've inquired about that already because I'm like, yeah, I want my kids to continue learning. And if I need to, have a tutor year round, then that's what we'll do to make sure they stay on track. Because, as we progress in the world, competition starts younger and younger.
Oh,
And they
yeah.
really need to, yeah, definitely, to me, at this point in life, being on grade level is not enough. So,
Be honest, it's not because these kids like and there's so much information everywhere.
yeah,
Information is everywhere, and anybody can pull it from anywhere at any time, but you can't fake ability, right?
exactly.
So that's a very important point that you made. And it really warms my heart to hear that Nasor is growing in maturity in other areas. Um, because he's in seventh grade, like as you mentioned, so he's a teenager. By the time the kids are teenagers, generally they get kind of set in their ways, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And but the reason I say it is because you're not the first parent that's told me this, but other
Oh,
parents who have told me that, like their kids are now starting to be able to clean up more and be able to take care of things more. Um, the other parents who said that, their kids were like 8 and 9, so I was like, well, that's maybe just a developmental thing, but now
yeah.
it does make me feel good to know that like Nasor is learning about accountability in more than
Mhm.
just math, right? Like I've taught
Right.
him and I've explicitly told him like strategies, and I do this with all my students, strategies to help us get things done that we know need to get done that we have resistance to. That's an ADHD problem, right? So I have experience with helping the kids with that. So it's really gratifying. Thank you for sharing that particular part. To hear that
Yeah.
it's helping him in other ways. So um,
Yes.
all right, last question, then we're done. Thank you for your time so far. Is there
Yeah.
anything else that you would like to share about your experience or Nasor's experience working with me here at the
Um, I it's just really a relief knowing that he has someone that truly understands how to support him. Because even as a parent, you want to support your child as best they can, as best as you can, but you may not always have the knowledge or the time to do so. And so just having someone that actually knows how to support him and that is supporting him, and you can probably see the changes, and knowing that that support is affecting more than just one area of his life, that has been truly paramount for me.
Thank you so
Just-
much. I
You're
really
welcome.
have loved working with Nasor. He is such an interesting dude.
Yeah.
And so like I love working with him because I do know that like when he first started with me, you mentioned he had like social anxiety some, right? About working in a group,
Mhm.
but I really feel like he's opened up some,
Yeah.
in our classes and he's grown in so many ways and it's just so wonderful to get to be a part of that. So thank you so much for, coming into my world and allowing me to be a small part of his world because um, it helps me it helps me to get to do this because whenever I worked in the public school system, I was him, right? Like I was
Hmm.
overwhelmed and like I was just always crazy with I have so many
Yeah.
things to do. As a teacher, we have like we have a to-do list like 1,000 miles long and it could never all get done and I was constantly overwhelmed. And so
Hmm.
me getting to do this work with Nasor feels right for me as well as it feels right for the kids, if that makes sense. So thank
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
very much. Yeah, I
Definitely.
appreciate it. All right, Miss Tasha, thanks again for meeting with me today. If you have any more questions, let me know. You have my number as always. And when it comes to summer programming, keep an eye out because that is coming. And I'm thinking on that. Like I'm thinking about
Okay.
like even more fun things to do during the summer. So I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm excited for it. So I'll keep you in mind, okay?
All
All
right.
right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye, Miss Tasha. Have a great day.
You too, Miss Sarah. Bye.